everybody, SONGOSHUAKU'S here!
And welcome to my audio review for NXT Takeover New York 2019. But first, make sure to hit that subscribe button followed by hitting the notification bell so that way you are notified as soon as my content is released. Well, hey, I might sound like a broken record, but in this case, it's positive because with these NXT TakeOver shows, compared to the main roster, you are always guaranteed a good to great show, but never bad. And that's what this show gave us pretty much. So let me go ahead and start off with the first match, the NXT Tag Team Championship match. The War Raiders consisted of Rowe, Hanson, and taking on the newly main roster call-ups of Aleister Black and Ricochet. So of course both of them won the Dusty Classics to get this opportunity, and the War Raiders, they got a cool entrance, and you know, Aleister Black and Ricochet, they always have really great entrances. This match, way too much action to recap here, but it was insane. Some of the highlights that I can try and remember off here was you had a really great intense opening part of the match with Aleister Black and Rowe dishing out strikes and nearly basically taking each other out. Like, you even had some really cool standoffs where Rowe almost punched not Ricochet, but Aleister in the face, and then they got up, and then they you know, wrestled some more, and then bam, Aleister nearly kicked Rowan's head off, and he stopped right at the last minute. So it was just great stuff. And then you had the whole high flying action between Ricochet and Hanson, and some really cool spot here is that there's a part where Hanson goes flying into Ricochet, and Ricochet catches him in midair, and Hanson of course is a big dude, and Ricochet of course is a small dude, yet with the pure power Ricochet had, was able to flip Hanson over for a fallaway slam. And I'm like, holy crap, you even heard Mauro Ranallo going crazy. So that was really insane and stuff, you know. Like I've always said, you know, when you have a small guy that can show power like that against a big guy, then I'm like, hey, seeing is believing for these matches. But yeah, Ricochet of course flying all over the ring. You had bodies flying absolutely everywhere in this match. There was cool spots where I did really like Aleister Black did he tripped them with a low kick to the legs when Hanson had Rowan up, because he body slammed him earlier on Ricochet, and then he went ahead and tried to body slam on Aleister, but it ended up turning to a fallaway slam. And of course they had Hanson running back and forth in the turnbuckles, and even Hanson and Ricochet were just flipping everywhere, doing all these cartwheels and flips and backflips and stuff just to avoid each other's attacks. It was great stuff. Like I said, too much action to recap, but in the end, Hanson and Rowan both ended up making finally taking out Aleister Black, and they hit their finisher, the Fallout, that I think it's called. Like, if anyone's followed my NXT audio reviews, you know that I don't have time, unfortunately, to watch these shows week by week, so I just only watch the TakeOver shows. But yeah, they hit that on Ricochet, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and very much like they showed throughout the whole match, they give him great respect in the end, and even lay down the tag titles in front of them, and in front of them, and then they walk off. And a very emotional moment you saw with Ricochet and Aleister Black there, as the fans were giving their respects that these two have definitely earned, because now they're off from the main roster, which unfortunately 9 times out of 10 we see how most of the main roster call-ups end up. I mean, just look at what they did with EC3 and stuff. So hopefully these two guys end up going places on the main roster. But for what they've done in NXT, absolutely astonishing and incredible. War Raiders, Aleister Black, Ricochet, one heck of a match. Definitely check it out. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next match for the North American Championship. Velveteen Dream, the champion, of course, defending against Matt Riddle. So definitely, I'm going to say, as someone who watches NXT from Takeover to Takeover, this is definitely the best Matt Riddle match I've seen, because the since I've only watched most of his Takeover shows were like really quick or something like that. Like, yeah, I think he was facing Cassius Ohno. But anyway, Velveteen Dream started off with a great Statue of Liberty entrance, of course, paying homage to being in New York City, so that was really awesome. And then you had Matt Riddle, you know, come out, and the match, I really liked it. It was like a great intense war. Like, you felt like the North American Championship meant something to these guys, because they were going at it, and Matt Riddle was just doing a lot of great transitions into, you know, really using all the skills he's taken from MMA, and just kept locking the Dream up, and Dream kept finding new ways. I did like a cool spot I remember in the match where Dream was paying homage to Rick Rude, and then so in return, Riddle, he picked up Velveteen Dream by the waist and started gyrating, you know, similar to the way that Rick Rude would, but while holding Dream. So yeah, like I said, the match really went on for a good part of it. Dream was really struggling. Matt Riddle was like all over him and everything, and there was quite a few near falls. It was really incredible. And what I really do like from a psychology standpoint, because going into this, I thought Dream was I didn't know if he was heel or babyface, because last time I saw him he was babyface, but the crowd always, maybe he's like a tweener. The crowd took to him as a babyface, and they were booing Matt Riddle, who had been really over. And you even see in the mannerisms, Matt Riddle, as the match goes on, actually started to be a lot more frustrated and angry and show more heel tendencies, as Dream was more so the babyface. So I thought it was really great. They went with the flow of the crowd, and it just worked out. Now, I actually thought Matt Riddle was going to win this match, and he did get the bro submission in at the end on Dream, but Dream found a way to basically get a one up over, and like while the submission was still on, he kind of did, you know, sort of a take on the Bret Hart Steve Austin Survivor Series 1996 finish, where Riddle didn't let go of the bro mission, and Velveteen Dream picks up the win, 1, 2, 3, like that, to a huge pop. And at the end, you know, they both gave each other respect with the bro fists, and Riddle left. So I don't know if they're gonna take him down a more heel route and everything. We'll see. And Dream gets a big win on NXT Takeover, and retains the championship. So I thought this was an excellent match. Definitely, to me, might even be my second favorite match of the night. It was excellent. And again, I don't know, that tag team match was really good. So it's either second or third for me around that that one. But yeah, definitely another really excellent, strong match. And now we're gonna move on here to the United Kingdom Championship match. Pete Dunne defending the championship against Walter, I guess is how you say it, Walter. All right, obviously, if you guys can't tell, like I said, I don't even keep up with NXT UK at all, so I'm not even at all familiar. I was not even at all familiar with him, with Walter, before this. And the thing about this one is, of course, Pete Dunne has had this 685-day reign as champion. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that, but I think it's something close to that, which they were saying is the longest reigning championship reign of any kind of the modern era. So anyways, with this match, I gotta admit, actually, Walter reminded me, basically in terms of looks, a little bit like Kozlov, if you guys remember him from the Ruthless Aggression later, or no, I think that was probably like the early PG, yeah, the early PG days, like in 2008, like almost about 11 years and everything. But basically, from what I saw in the video package, like he was a devastating monster and everything, coming in to take on Pete Dunne. And this is where I would also like to go ahead and give credit to Cindy of NoDQ.com, because she kept track of this. This match was Chop City, pretty much, and she counted 26 chops. So thanks for keeping track, Cindy. You and all our other NoDQ family, keep up the great work at NoDQ.com. And now, when it comes to the results of this match, I kind of figured that Walter was going to win the match. That's who I chose as my prediction, because I just felt that, I'm guessing, Pete Dunne's had this long reign as title champion, and they're gonna just get it off of him, right? But as I was watching watching this match, I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna put the title on this guy just because of just how excellent Pete Dunne is, you know, with the way he speaks and his mannerisms and everything. Like, maybe they're not gonna take the title. So through in the match, I'm thinking like, I think Pete Dunne's got this. But to my surprise, Pete Dunne lost. Walter beat him with a big splash off the top rope and got the pinfall in. But the match overall was pretty okay. Match, I thought. You definitely had a lot of good wrestling with it. The psychology of the match was basically that Walter had this overwhelming power, and Pete Dunne, to kind of neutralize it, used the joint manipulation on the fingers to constantly keep him tied up, and even did some submissions with the joints and everything. But yeah, overall, that was a pretty good match to end Pete Dunne's extremely lengthy 600+ day title reign. And for those that do watch NXT United Kingdom, let me know if you are excited for a new champion after all this time. And I want to make a quick point too, just to say a couple of quick points actually, is that Kushida has signed with NXT, and I really thought that it was very cool that the song, the official theme song for this show was "Are You Ready" by Disturbed. So it's cool to hear Disturbed being used again for a WWE event. And now we move on to the Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler defending the title against Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kairi Sane. I would say I thought the match was good, but personally, I would say I believe I've seen better single matches that Shayna has had with these 4 women, but by all means, not to take away from this match, because I did think it was a good Fatal 4-Way match. You even had your Fatal 4-Way spot, that spot they do all the time where 2 wrestlers are on the top rope, third one tries to come up under the legs, and they struggle, and then you have a 4th wrestler comes in, and they all 4 do this big splash, and I personally think it's been overdone. I feel like we see this spot every single time in a Fatal 4-Way match. But other than that, the match is okay. There were some cool moments like Bianca Belair hitting her, what was her finisher? The KOD, I think it's called, on both Io and Sane. So that was really cool. Of course, her long ponytail came into play, which I find it funny watching her matches when wrestlers use her long ponytail against her, because I think just like from a psychology standpoint, it's like, yeah, why not go for it? It's just right there, you know. Overall, though, all 4 women are talented, but yeah, I just thought the match was pretty okay. I mean, you just got Io Shirai doing a really cool snap moonsault to the middle, from the middle rope on the outside. So yeah, like I said, it was okay. The ending of the match, Shayna ends up getting her Kokita clutch on, hopefully I said that right, you know, the chokehold finisher. Samoa Joe does it as well. Yeah, she gets that on Bianca Belair. Now, in the previous Takeover show, the whole story was that Bianca Belair was in that submission for several minutes and eventually passed out. Here, she was probably in that submission for, I would say, for several seconds, not even a minute, and maybe even only 30 seconds. I don't know. It was really short, and she just taps out with both hands, and it's like, huh? And there was even a point where they teased she was about to pass out, and I would have much rather preferred, if that's the finish they were doing, that she passes out basically quickly. Like you could say Shayna found a way to make her go to sleep much quicker, but here, just I don't know, it felt like, okay, next match has to get on, so just end it here and just tap out. And, you know, it was very inconsistent with where we were in the match. You know, you built up Bianca to be able to withstand a submission for this long, and in the next Takeover show, she just taps out really quickly. So yeah, I'm not sure. I actually thought Io Shirai was gonna walk away with the championship here, and that Shayna Baszler would be on her way to the main roster, but it looks like not. You know, it's heavily rumored that Ronda Rousey might be leaving. We'll know for sure after WrestleMania this Sunday, basically as of this recording. But yeah, like I said, overall, it was a good Fatal 4-Way match. And now we get to the main event. 2 out of 3 falls for the vacant NXT Championship. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby! So this match was originally scheduled to be Johnny versus Tommaso. To conclude, it was going to be the fourth and final match to conclude where their first, 1 year after their first match. But of course, Tommaso Ciampa got hurt, and this is the end result of what they had to do. However, this was a great substitute. Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, putting these two in the ring and just letting them go all out to do their thing, is going to be fantastic. And this match did not disappoint. This is easily my favorite match of the night, and it's the main event. Both these men delivered. So it was 2 out of 3 falls, and Johnny Gargano comes out and paying tribute to Iron Man, of course. Avengers 4 Endgame on its way out at the end of this month as of this recording, and that was really cool. And Adam Cole came out, and the crowd reaction was interesting in this match. You, of course, had Johnny Gargano, who it appears, like I said, I don't watch from week to week with NXT. I go from takeover to takeover. So Johnny Gargano apparently is babyface again, and then you have Adam Cole, who's the clear-cut heel. But very much like the Velveteen Dream, the fans never respond to Adam Cole as if he's a heel. And the fans, it seemed to be in the beginning very pro Adam Cole and very much anti Johnny Gargano. So you're gonna have this match where the fans are all for the heel and they're booing the babyface. But as the match progressed, you started hearing it more even. People were saying Johnny wrestling, others were going like Adam Cole. And as the match further progressed, eventually people just stopped and started chanting, both these guys, both these guys, both these guys. And by the end of the match, you could tell the fans really had garnered huge respect for where the story was going. But yeah, the match started off with a lot of great chain wrestling, and let me be honest, this match, I don't know, these guys went like 30-40 minutes, whatever it was. It was something. It was a pretty lengthy match, and it never slowed down. The pace never slowed down. Both these guys were wrestling back and forth, just great wrestling, intense submission. Like I said, once again, just like when I watched earlier in the night, the North American Championship match, both these guys, you could tell they wanted this, as they should. They should want this. This is for the NXT Championship, and they were going at it. And what I really like about the first fall being very lengthy, I feel like psychology should be, things I don't like about WWE when they do those 2 out of 3 matches. I don't like when they do, like, okay, a guy hits his finisher first round, then the next guy hits his finisher second round, then they have a lengthy third match. To me, it's like, what was the point, right? But with this match, it was more like the first fall was the longest, and then the second fall was shorter, and the third fall was just all out intense. But I liked it because I feel like if in the beginning of the match both guys are fresh and they're both competitive superstars, that first part should be the longest part. And like I say, it was just a lot of great stuff to recap and everything, and it really built towards it. Eventually, Adam Cole ends up getting the pinfall. I think he did a super kick. I forget if it was a DDT or super kick, but he did something like that. And he ends up getting the first fall on Johnny Gargano. I think, yeah, he like got a kick in him on the back or something, and was enough to knock him out. And then as you get to the second round, basically Johnny Gargano is doing his best to try and fight back, and they're going all out the ring and everything. I think there was a cool spot where Johnny Gargano did like a DDT jump, like a DDT where he jumped over the rope and caught Adam Cole right onto the apron. Looked pretty sick, and they were exchanging, going back and forth, doing the kicks back and forth, sometimes doing the no selling. That was something that I'm not a fan of, when one guy does a kick and then the other guy, instead of selling it, kicks it. I prefer do the kick afterwards and then immediately fall down to make it seem like it was your last gas. But when they you get kicked and then you kick the next guy and then you immediately go into doing another, I'm not a fan of that stuff. It's like the first kick didn't even matter, know, like Steve Austin always says on his on his program, you know, you need to sell for people to give a care, right? But these fans were eating it up anyway. But it was, like I said, great back and forth action. Eventually, Johnny Gargano gets Adam Cole in the Gargano escape, and Adam Cole immediately taps out. And the commentators did a great job of explaining that, you know, he realized why further risk injury. This is a match, after all, with an extra fall, so he could afford the quick tap out. And this is where things really were getting intense. The crowd was all into this, and this is just a huge emotional roller coaster this match ended up becoming towards the end. You were getting near fall after near fall, and of course shenanigans would occur where the rest of the Undisputed Era would come out and interfere. And this is the part of the match where I was saying that, you know, where people were booing Johnny Gargano, everyone was cheering Johnny Gargano and now booing Undisputed Era, and we're getting emotionally invested. And I think that is a tremendous testament to their abilities to be able to turn a crowd around like that. I gave what was it, Kevin Owens, Mustafa Ali, now known as just simply Ali, and Daniel Bryan the same amount of credit in their match, because fans were booing that Kofi was in the match, and they turned it around. That's what you got right here with Cole and Johnny Gargano. And so yeah, they interfere in the match, and you think what was it, they distract the referee, and they eventually Adam Cole pushes Johnny into the referee, knocks him out, and all three of them, you know, go ahead and do their finishers, hit Johnny Gargano and throw the referee back in there, and it's like 1, 2, Johnny kicks out somehow. And Johnny Gargano did a really cool way. He jumped over the ring and took out the rest of the Undisputed Era, or was that Adam Cole? I think maybe accidentally went over. I forget what it is, but he does. Adam Cole accidentally wipes him out, and then Johnny Gargano, he like super kicks one of them and then throws the other into the ring post. And he did a really cool spot where I forget which one of the Undisputed Era he did, but he did like he set up a tornado DDT, and his feet literally in midair smashed one of the other members of the Undisputed Era in the face, and then he finishes the DDT all in midair. It's like, that was sick. And then he gets in the ring with Adam Cole, and Adam Cole gets like another super kick on him, and you think, all right, this is gotta be it. 1, 2, no, Johnny Gargano finds some way to kick out, and you got Mauro Ranallo talking about Johnny Gargano is not human. And then when Adam Cole goes for another kick, Johnny Gargano once again finally gets the Gargano escape on Adam Cole. It's not working. Adam Cole tries to reverse it, get to the ropes, and Johnny Gargano keeps the submission on. He's in the middle of the ring. All the entire Undisputed Era is out of the ring. The crowd is going wild. The commentators are going crazy, and Johnny Gargano's pulling back, and then Adam Cole taps out, and the place explodes. I got out of my chair and clapped, because that was, I thought, tremendous. You know, so many times when in WWE on the main roster, when they try to do those matches where it's like the baby face basically is taking all this damage, and eventually they end up losing. Like, don't get me wrong, like I like Roman Reigns, but I wasn't a fan of how they booked him over the years. And like last year in that Brock Lesnar match where Roman took all that abuse and all those F5s, and he ended up losing. You know, you didn't even give him the big win, but here Johnny Gargano got all this punishment, and he stuck it out and won. So I thought it was a great babyface win. The celebration was excellent. Just like I said, this was such an emotional roller coaster. His wife Candice LeRae came out, gave him the biggest hug, and the crowd was just all on their feet cheering and everything. And they celebrate with the championship. He goes in the crowd, celebrates with his family, and as they're walking up the aisle, Tommaso Ciampa in a neck brace comes out, and he hugs Johnny Gargano, and he raises both him and Candice LeRae's hands, and we go off with a feel-good moment of Johnny Gargano with his best friend and his wife, finally the champion. This was a really great emotional ending, though I will admit, from a psychology standpoint, with all the hatred that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa have had, it's like, you know, you did some really things that would end a friendship, but it's wrestling, right? Wrestling always teaches. Look at the Undertaker and Kane's rivalry, how to forgive, right? But you know, once Tommaso Ciampa gets gets healed, they might want to revisit this, and now it's like, hey, they're friends, they made up. But then again, look what they did with Charlotte and Becky. They hugged before Survivor Series, and now look, they're both back to wanting to rip each other's heads off heading into the first ever main event for WrestleMania. But overall, this was a great match, fantastic wrestling, fantastic storytelling, and a fantastic ending. I mean, just everything here clicked. And this is the matches like this is why when I think about professional wrestling, I think, and I look back and I'm like, this is why I'm a fan. So many times, particularly especially with WWE, a lot of these great moments are far and few in between, but when something great happens, it's great, and that's what you got in this main event, and that's what I really loved about this match. Overall, I thought NXT, like I said, it was I say dang near really great show. Yeah, 3 of the matches I thought really delivered, another 2 were just good, but like I said, you never get a bad show when it comes to NXT, and this definitely main event was excellent, and it's a strong NXT show for us to remember as the time goes by. So definitely check out this NXT TakeOver show. And with that said in mind, guys, I will be back for a review for WWE WrestleMania 35. In the meantime, here are my plugs. So, if you obviously are a fan of WWE or professional wrestling, we'll be doing more audio reviews like this for big events that you can listen to as you go about your everyday life. Also, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, shonen manga, or anime adapted from shonen manga, make sure to check out my upcoming short film, Battle of Deception, as it's based on those types of genres. I currently have lots of videos such as the teaser trailer and the behind-the-scene interview videos right here on my channel, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as I release more content regarding Battle of Deception, Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia, and even WWE. And make sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, both at SONGOSHUAKU. All links will be in the description below. Take care!